What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your BLUAMP 21 2.1 channel Bluetooth home audio amplifier receiver. They come in two colors of black and silver, but the setup for each is the exact same. A 3.5mm aux to RCA cable, a dual RCA cable, a Bluetooth antenna for stronger Bluetooth connection, and a power adapter and cable. So one of the first things we're going to do is set up the power adapter. We're going to take the female end of the power cable here and plug it into this insert here on our power adapter. Next we'll plug this end here into the amp itself and plug the other end into your power outlet. So next we can take the Bluetooth antenna and screw that right onto the back of the amp like so. So the next thing we can do is set up some passive speakers to our amp. For today we're using our very own Rockshelf 68 V2 passive speakers, but you can use any sort of passive speakers that connect to an amp through speaker wire. It's also worth noting that each channel on this amplifier is 4 ohm stable, so you'll want to be sure that any speakers you use with this amplifier don't fall under 4 ohms. Here's a chart of all of the different combinations of speakers you can use with the amplifier. You never want to use two 4 ohm speakers per channel because that would make you fall under the 4 ohm load. So now to connect one speaker to our left channel and one speaker to our right channel, I'm going to need a couple of speaker wire. I'm going to take one end of each cable and plug them into the positive and negative terminals on the back of my amp. So I'm going to connect the red wire into the red positive terminal and the black wire into the black negative terminal. Then I'm going to take the other ends and plug them into the positive and negative terminals on the back of my speakers. And because each channel is 4 ohm stable, we can connect one more 8 ohm speaker per channel for a final load of 4 ohms per channel. We're going to connect each speaker to each other through the positive and negative terminals, otherwise known as parallel wiring. If you want to learn how to parallel wire your speakers, check out our video on that. Again, when parallel wiring, make sure that the total load per channel doesn't fall under 4 ohms. For instance, if you're using 2 speakers per channel, each speaker should at least be 8 ohms. So now let's go ahead and turn on our amp by holding down the power button here. If we take a look at the front, you'll see we have 3 knobs for the sub, treble, and main volume. The sub knob controls how much volume we want coming out of our subwoofer that's connected to the amp. We're actually going to go over how to connect one to our amp in a bit. The treble knob controls how much high end we want coming out of our mix, and the volume knob controls how much volume comes out of our speakers. Now if we take a look at the back of the amp, you'll see we have a sub output to connect the subwoofer to the amp. To do that, you can take a speaker wire and plug one end into the sub output and plug the other end into the positive and negative terminals of your sub. We have many ways to play music or connect devices to the amp. For example, there's a 3.5mm input labeled aux1, so we can connect MP3 players. There's also an RCA input labeled aux2, so we can connect DVD or CD players, TVs, record players, etc. So if we wanted to connect a TV for this instance, we would take the included RCA cable, plug one end into aux2 on the back of our amp, then connect the other end into the RCA output on the back of your TV. You would also use this approach to connect CD players, DVD players, etc. And best of all, there's a Bluetooth mode so we can play music from our smartphone or tablet. To select any of these modes, you're going to press the mode select button here once to cycle through each mode. For today, we're going to use the Bluetooth mode. Search for the device that reads BLUAMP 21 and click on it to pair. So now I've got my smartphone all set up and ready to go with my amplifier, and I even connected a subwoofer to the amp, so I'm gonna play some music right now and bring in the sub so you can hear how much difference it makes. Alright, here we go. Sounds good. Bring in that sub. Oh, wow. Yeah, makes a big difference having that subwoofer in there. Gets plenty of bass and plenty of high end. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your BLUAMP 21 2.1 channel Bluetooth home audio amplifier receiver. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.